My nigga.
You're an artist and want to stay a star, don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record.
Who's your favorite fighter of all time?
Roberto Duran.
Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran.
What's up, y'all? Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. It's the Boxing Me Podcast back up in here, man. And today I'd like to show a video that I came across on YouTube. It's episode 2 about the Snac program. So sit back and let's watch this video. And the topic is your fighter on the Snac program? So let's check this video out.
Slander or defamation of character contained in this audiovisual work. Frivolous lawsuits will be met with serious legal counteraction to hold determinate parties accountable.
And they're posting things and they don't know what the hell they're talking about, quite frankly. And so we got to clear that up. And to do that tonight, we're going to talk about Canelo Alvarez and we're going to talk about Ryan Garcia. And we're also going to talk about these Hades. Now, the reason why I called tonight is because this needs to get put out there along with the other call that we did earlier this month after the fight. This really needs to get put out there.
This?
Cut. And that's a wrap. Now the work of getting your video to multiple channels and devices.
It really does. This is going to be a strong position against the Haney's and their fan base. We're going to expose the serious hypocrisy and the major flaws they've made in recent weeks. I'm going to show you why we now have a backwards steroid case. I've been involved in this boxing business for a very long time. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. These Haney's and their fans are the worst that I've seen in this sport. Y'all don't even know the types of things that goes on behind the scenes with these guys. Now, I'll say this. If you're not a Haney supporter or a Conte supporter and you have PED criticisms for Ryan, you know what? We may disagree, but I can't even be mad at you. This is not directed towards you. You know, if you're a supporter of David Benavidez, Gervonta Davis, Lomachenko, fighters like that, this is not towards you. Because, see, those fighters, they don't have a suspicious history, if you know what I mean. But if you are a hardcore Haney supporter and a Conte supporter, this is specifically for you. I'm letting you know right now, I am going to deep fry you. So everybody can gather around if you want, or if you don't want to be involved, you can leave if you want, because this is going to get ugly. If you want to see where we're going, and if you want to go where we're going right now, lock in right here, because we got problems. You know, we got problems. Now we're going to look at a few things. We're going to look at Eddie Reynoso, and we're going to look at Victor Conte. Eddie Reynoso, Canelo Alvarez's trainer. Also, Jaime Munguia's trainer. Also has been Ryan Garcia's trainer. Watch this.
Recently, it was revealed that Jaime Munguia tested positive for a banned substance. After Munguia failed his drug test, Devin Haney and many of his supporters began posting different lists trying to lump several fighters together into a steroid case under Eddie Reynoso. Devin Haney has a list that he reposted with Ryan Garcia on the list. Haney has also previously made the claim that Eddie Reynoso's entire camp is on PEDs. Devin and his supporters made sure to lump Ryan Garcia into these lists, but there are many problems here. Not just with Ryan Garcia, but with the entire list.
Now here's the problem.
Son, where'd
One
you
of the
find
lists that I
this?
saw had the names of Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia, Luis Neri, Jaime Munguia, and Oscar Valdez. The caption said that all of these fighters tested positive with Eddie Reynoso. Anybody that works with Reynoso is dirty. So you're trying to use this list, this compilation as additional evidence to say that all of those fighters are dirty. You're saying that the Eddie Reynoso list further validates the claim that those fighters are dirty because there are so many of them, right? You're using it to elevate the perception of guilt on these fighters.
King Kong,
Serious mistake here. And I'm going to show you, this is why you can't really trust anything that the Haney's put out. There's almost always something else behind the information that they put out. Now let's work on this. Example 1, Luis Neri. Luis Neri has no business on this Eddie Reynoso list. Neri has no business on the list because he tested positive back in 2017. Neri didn't join Eddie Reynoso until 2019. You're talking about a test that happened 2 years before he met Reynoso. So his test has nothing to do with Eddie Reynoso. So strike him off. Strike him off the list. That's just like Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has no business on this Eddie Reynoso list. Ryan wasn't even working with Eddie Reynoso when he tested positive. He was working with Derek James. Ryan left Reynoso all the way back in 2021, and he didn't test positive until 2024. This is 3 years after he left Reynoso, and y'all got him on a list trying to lump him in on a steroid case on the Eddie Reynoso. But the fact is, Ryan left Reynoso, and then 3 years later, his test came up.
Damn,
so Ryan's
son, where'd
test
you find
had
this?
nothing to do with Eddie Reynoso. Strike him off. Get Ryan off of there. Get him off the list, and we ain't even done. I haven't even covered everything. You got even more problems with the list, and this is why. This is why you got to take these things on a case-by-case basis.
Damn,
Ryan has
son,
a very
where'd you find
strange
this?
and a very questionable case with his PED test. And his case needs to be taken very seriously, and it needs to be evaluated by itself because there's a lot that people still don't know about it. Matter of fact, before we move on to Canelo, let's take a quick look at it.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. You just need a concept and a way to record it. First, go to
Victor Conte, who was the biggest distributor of undetectable steroids the sports world has ever seen, was said to give undetectable steroids to multiple athletes, including boxers. He was convicted for conspiracy to distribute steroids. Now, after doing time, Conte partners with the Haneys and puts Devin Haney on his steroid-free supplement called Snac. Then it's discovered that Devin Haney figured out how to gain massive amounts of weight in less than 24 hours. Suddenly, Devin Haney can step on a scale and weigh 135 pounds. Then 18 hours later, he's blown all the way up to 160 pounds. By the time he gets in the ring with his opponents, he's much bigger than them. In addition to this, Conte helps put VADA together, an anti-doping agency that organizes drug testing. So now Devin Haney is on Victor Conte's Snac supplements with suspicion of other things, and he's being tested through VADA that Conte helped put together. Devin Haney never tests positive for any steroids or PEDs or anything. Next, Devin Haney fights Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia signs up for VADA and is being tested through VADA. Ryan passes all of his random drug tests leading up to the fight. Ryan goes into the fight, beats Devin Haney into the canvas. Then suddenly, VADA releases a report saying that Ryan Garcia tested positive for ostarine, a banned substance, after he defeats Devin Haney. And the last part is the worst part. The fight took place late night on April the 20th. And 2.5 days later, not even 3 days, 2.5 days later, Devin Haney's little brother posts a video on his social media saying that Ryan Garcia was going to test positive for a drug test.
Is I was on the prayer mat today, and Allah was just telling me he's going to test positive for his drug test, test positive for his drug test. He's going to test positive for his drug test. Yeah.
ESPN didn't announce anything until May the 1st, but Devin Haney's brother somehow knows 2.5 days after the fight.
Damn,
when
son,
the positive
where'd you
test
find
is
this?
officially announced, Victor Conte goes on a public campaign pointing his finger down at Ryan Garcia. And the Haneys sue Ryan Garcia for battery, demand that Ryan Garcia be banned for life from boxing, and demand that Devin Haney should be declared the winner of the fight. But the boxing world is supposed to ignore all of this. Ignore that Victor Conte was the kingpin of undetectable steroids.
Damn,
ignore
son,
that
where'd you
Devin
find
Haney is
this?
gaining 25 to 30 pounds in less than 24 hours while being partnered with Victor Conte. Ignore that Ryan Garcia was randomly tested through VADA and didn't test positive until after he defeated the lead fighter of Victor Conte's Snac, Devin Haney. Ignore that Devin Haney's brother publicly stated that Ryan Garcia was going to test positive for a drug
Damn,
test
son,
over
where'd
a
you
week
find this?
before anyone else knew.
Haney becomes a Snac fighter under Conte's company. They make the mistake of thinking he's the next great fighter. They think he's the next Floyd Mayweather. They got him on videos titled The Future of Boxing. So they think everybody's about to get paid and bring in the money off of Devin Haney. Then he goes on a 7-fight span where he's bigger than all his opponents for 4 years straight. 4 years straight. 7 fights in a row. But then the Haney people want to point fingers at Ryan Garcia and post lists trying to connect him to a trainer that he left 3-4 years ago. Then you got Bill Haney. He gets caught up in his own stories.
In this clip, Bill Haney gets trapped by his own words. The discussion was about the small amounts of ostarine that were supposedly found in Ryan Garcia's system. Bill makes a strong statement. He says VADA never releases the amounts that fighters test positive for.
VADA has never released an amount that is in someone's system. They just don't.
But Bill didn't realize that Victor Conte already knew the amounts that Ryan tested positive for, and Conte had already put the exact amounts out to the public.
No, I'm saying what you said was that VADA doesn't give no dosage or limits. Victor Conte knows the dosage. He says 60 times the allowable limit was found. How does he know the dosage?
Damn, son,
When
where'd
Bill
you find
gets caught
this?
with his foot in his mouth on that, he tries to escape and say the amounts don't matter when he's the one that made the damn statement.
So the amount of dosage makes no difference to me because that's not the point that I look for. That's the point that you guys are talking about.
See, all this shit is strange. Very, very strange. And that's why Ryan don't even got to explain nothing. He should just sit back, connect with God, and work on his craft. Because y'all are going to find some things out. There's a lot of foolishness that comes with the Haneys. And all of the people that's been supporting them through their nonsense over the years, they don't want to call it out. They want to point fingers at all these other fighters. They want to do that. All of those people are going to look like fools. Watch what I tell you. They're going to look like fools. But let's keep moving.
Damn,
you got
son,
problems.
where'd you find
this? Now they really got problems.
Lock your eyes onto this clip of Victor Conte. In this clip, Conte is talking about a British boxer named Billy Joe Saunders. Conte speaks about Saunders' weight, and he says he has questions about how Billy Joe Saunders is cutting so much weight.
BJ Saunders, as you know, recently with Demetrius, man, he pops positive. And if you look at BJ Saunders, all of a sudden he's weighing 180, and 30 days later he's weighing 160. How's it cut all this weight? In my opinion, he's using stimulants.
So Conte has questions and asks,
here's a YouTube growth hack that no one is talking about. Don't make 10 new videos. Instead, pick one old one make it better. A new thumbnail, a new title, repurpose it into a YouTube short. It's faster, it's smarter, and it's way less draining. Smarter tweaks equal faster wins. So click the link and start boosting your old videos today.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can. First up, let's talk about AI color themes. You can get any.
How was Saunders losing all of this weight? He has questions about how Saunders weighs 180 pounds, and then a month later, he's down to 160 pounds. Then he says, in his opinion, Saunders is using stimulants, which are banned under VADA.
So you have questions. You have questions about Billy Joe Saunders losing 20 pounds in 30 days, but you don't have questions about your sponsor, Snac fighter Devin Haney, losing all these pounds in a short time, then immediately gaining 25 pounds, possibly 30 pounds in one day, 24 hours. This is horrible. This is actually horrible. Doesn't look good. And this is why I said the people that are hypocrites, the people that are throwing dirt onto Ryan Garcia for all of this PED stuff, they're in a bad position.
Let's look at one more logical comparison between Conte and Reynoso so we
Damn,
can draw a
son, where'd you
conclusion.
find this?
According to the logic of many of the Haney followers, they said these 5 fighters tested positive under Eddie Reynoso. Therefore, every fighter that works with Eddie Reynoso is dirty. This way of thinking actually suggests that many other fighters are also on PEDs. This would include Eddie Reynoso fighters that never even tested positive.
So that would mean that even the Reynoso fighters that haven't tested positive are dirty as well, based on your logic. And if that's the case, using your logic, Victor Conte has a whole grocery list of over 20 athletes that failed drug tests from actual PEDs that he gave them. It's not even speculation. With Reynoso, it's speculation. With Conte, it's fact. He admittedly gave PEDs to all of them in his Balco scandal. So using your logic, that would mean that all of the athletes that have ever worked with Victor Conte, whether they tested positive or not, all of those athletes working in the Conte stable right now, all of the sponsor Snac fighters are damn near for sure dirty, because Conte has over 20 athletes that we know he supplied with hardcore PEDs. With your logic, all of his fighters would have to be dirty. That would include Devin Haney, Terrence Crawford, all of them. The reason why I'm doing this is because these are the dumb things that Haney's and their supporters do. And these are the problems that they create, pushing out these stupid things. See, when you use your logic, you create a lot of problems.
I just fought the best fight of my life. I just did that, you know. And
they've been doing for years. You all look incompetent right now. And I could really fry you on this topic. But let's keep moving. Let's go ahead and finish. Canelo Alvarez. Now let's move to Canelo on Reynoso's list.
Canelo Alvarez was included on the PED list by Devin Haney and his followers, but Alvarez was also included in another accusatory post. The additional post had a split image on it. At the top, it had Canelo Alvarez and Ryan Garcia. At the bottom, it had Devin Haney, Victor Conte, Terrence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson, and Mikey Garcia. The picture had the term PEDs labeled across the top of Canelo and Ryan Garcia, and it had the words hard work labeled across the bottom.
But the Haney supporters, the Conte supporters, they got a problem. Your list got a problem with Canelo on it, because since the Haney people trust Victor Conte so much, then guess what? We're going to trust him again here. Let's see what Victor Conte wanted from Canelo after he found out that Canelo failed a drug test.
Clenbuterol, the issue is it's easy to get exposure through eating contaminated meat, and especially in Mexico. However, I think that there's a responsibility that Canelo has. He needs to step up and provide some type of evidence of where are the receipts where he purchased this contaminated meat. Did he go to a restaurant? Did he buy? Does he have a chef that bought this meat? Let's go to that particular slaughterhouse where the meat came from. They did a survey of 200 slaughterhouses in Mexico. 58 were selling meat that was contaminated and would cause a positive drug test. That's almost 30%. So that tells you 1 out of 3 hamburger stands that you walk up to in Mexico are going to give you a positive test. Yeah. So I think he's got some explaining to do, if you know what I mean. He needs to step up and provide some type of evidence.
Conte says he wants Canelo to step up, do an investigation, and provide evidence about his case. Provide receipts and trace the contaminated meat back to the source, back to the slaughterhouse. Guess what? Canelo did exactly what Victor Conte asked. He provided 2 receipts, had the contaminated meat traced back to 2 slaughterhouses, provided several additional tests that the commission requested, and he went to the lab that were accredited by WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency. And on top of it all, he passed all of the tests, including the hair follicle test.
What really changed my opinion about Canelo was when he agreed to step up and do a hair test. But when it came back that it was consistent with contaminated meat and not with intent to cheat. That really, and he also, to mitigate things, got the receipts from the restaurant and traceability back to the slaughterhouse. I don't think that he was taking clenbuterol with intent to cheat.
So again, since everything that Victor Conte says about Haney is true, and since y'all believe in Victor Conte so much, then we're going to believe in him here. Canelo did exactly what Conte asked to prove his innocence. Take him off the list. Take him off. Yeah, take him off because he's clear, according to your guy.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Please.
And you know, these things happen in crazy ways. Do you
I just fought the best fight of my life. I just did that, you know.
Canelo in this situation. Because Conte really likes to throw underhanded shots at Canelo. In my opinion, I don't believe that Conte thought Canelo was going to do all of the things he did. Even in the same interview, he throws underhanded shots at Canelo, saying that Canelo and others was duping the boxing public.
People at the very top of the sport making the majority of the money, the Canelos, the Triple Gs, the Joshuas, these others that are making this massive money, they're manipulating, they're duping the boxing public into thinking, hey, there's testing, so these guys must be clean. No, there's...
So he often throws those shade shots at Canelo. But you know why he was speaking well of Canelo in this situation? But do you know why? He's being so thoughtful and considerate and understanding with Canelo in this situation. And he had to, because Conte had a fighter named Francisco Vargas that went through the same exact thing as Canelo Alvarez did. Vargas tested positive for clenbuterol and had to go through the same process of tracing the contaminated meat. So Conte couldn't criticize Canelo in this case because Conte would have looked like a complete hypocrite, an even bigger hypocrite than he's looked like in the past. But Canelo got suspended. Why did he got suspended? He got suspended because you don't know shit about boxing. The Nevada State Athletic Commission has what's called the strict liability. And that pretty much means they don't give a damn how it got in your system. You could step in a mud puddle that has clenbuterol in it, and if it pops up in your test, your ass is getting suspended. This is the same reason Ryan got suspended. The New York Commission also has strict liability. They're going to pretty much suspend your ass regardless of anything, regardless of what the investigation says. But Canelo received a reduced suspension of 6 months because they literally said that all of the evidence in the investigation literally pointed to contamination. So Canelo is off. So you're left with 2 fighters, and one of them, Jaime Munguia, you don't even know how his case is going to turn out. So even with Jaime Munguia, he may very well be 100% guilty, or he may not. Because even if they do the B sample
He
test,
needs some
and
milk.
the B sample comes back positive as well, which it probably will, it usually does. Even if the B sample comes back positive, they're gonna do an investigation. I guarantee it. So you're left with literally one legitimate case on the list right now.
Where'd you find
One,
this?
Oscar Valdez. And to wrap this up, see, the Haney's and Victor Conte always have questions about other fighters. See, they always want to be the one to ask questions. Devin Haney jumps out accusing people. He got questions.
Where'd you find
Bill
this?
Haney got all kinds of questions about Ryan Garcia. Conte got questions about BJ Saunders, questions about Ryan Garcia, questions about Canelo and all these other fighters. You know, but they never answer the questions on Devin Haney. Like, how is he cutting all this weight so fast and gaining 25 pounds in 18 hours? How is he gaining all that weight so fast with no IV, but still got full stamina through a 12-round fight? Why is he telling so many opponents they're too small? Why did his little brother say that Ryan Garcia was going to test positive for a drug test 2.5 days after the fight with Devin Haney? How did he know this information over a week before anybody else in the media found out? Why was Devin Haney so big sitting on that ESPN seat 10 days after the fight? I mean, how many cheeseburgers did he eat to get that big that fast? Why did Devin Haney go on a 4-year, 7-fight weight bullying streak where he had a weight advantage, reach advantage, and a height advantage over every single opponent? You know, all of that, it raises a lot of questions, Well, what we starting to see is that y'all got a lot of questions, but you got no answers. Oh, but Devin Haney never tested positive. Crawford never tested positive. They never tested positive. Why y'all ain't mad at Ryan Garcia? We ain't mad at Ryan Garcia because you don't know shit about boxing. Do you know how many professional athletes never tested positive, but were still using PEDs? Nia St. John never tested positive. Later, we find out she's on multiple steroids. Mark McGuire never tested positive. Later, we find out he was on PEDs. Mike Piazza, Tim Montgomery, Michelle Carr. Listen, I could really destroy you on that topic right now, but I'm not even going to name anymore. The fact is that just because an athlete never tested positive does not mean they are not using some type of PEDs. They could still be using some type of performance enhancing substance. We haven't heard any answers for any of those questions regarding Devin Haney. And see, this is why I say that Haney and Conte supporters are fried. You're all fried. You are in no position to accuse anybody of anything because of the suspicious history of the people you support and the flawed list you try to use to build a case against these fighters. All of the Haney people that's pushing these lists look incompetent right now. You all look miserable because you done put out this boneheaded list without knowing what you're talking about. You blew it. You got one fighter on the list that tested positive 2 years before he met Reynoso, and you got another fighter on the list that tested positive 3 years after he left Reynoso. You got the next fighter on the list that was essentially cleared by the former steroid supplier that you all support. And you got another fighter on the list that hasn't even played out yet. You said you had 5 fighters. For the people that play spades, if this was spades, you down to 1 in a possible.
Now that I use Monday Service, AI makes solving tickets my form of meditation. Monday Service is a ticketing platform.
The people that play spades know what I'm talking about. You got 1 in a possible. You sitting your ass up here holding 1 in a possible in your hands talking about you want to be at 6 books. Oh, but Julio is 2 in a possible, 2 in a possible. Oh, what about Julio? Damn, Julio, it don't matter. You still don't got 6 books. You don't got them. Just sit. What I'm saying is you're going backwards. And the drug case that y'all trying to build is backwards. Because in all honesty, despite that Ryan Garcia tested positive, in my opinion, the suspicious history of Devin Haney, Bill Haney, Victor Conte, and all of the questionable things they got going on over there with doping agencies, weight, matchmaking, the snot-nosed brother, actually looks worse than the Ryan Garcia stuff. So the Haney's, Conte, and their fans, they built a backwards case. It's a backwards drug case because it looks like the case should be on them. That's what it looks like to a lot of people. And the case might actually be on them. So now you finally made it. You Haney supporters, you Conte supporters, you finally made it to the finish line. You finally made it to the end. It's going to be the end of your credibility, because I have one more very important list that I want to share with y'all. And you're going to love this. You're going to love this. This list has several names on it. The names are Andre Berto, Willie Monroe, Francisco Vargas, and UFC fighter Kong Lee. And guess what? Every single one of those fighters tested positive while being partnered with Snac or being associated with Victor Conte. Congratulations, you've all destroyed yourselves. You let Devin Haney drop you right off a cliff by posting all these lists and throwing around all these judgments. You didn't realize that the same flawed logic you use to try to bury Ryan Garcia and Canelo Alvarez, because that's really what this is about. You didn't realize that the same flawed logic also applied to Devin Haney, Victor Conte, and all of those Snac fighters over there. Because according to y'all's logic and y'all's criteria, all y'all need is a positive test in a half-assed association. So since Devin Haney likes to throw out judgments and repost lists, you let him explain why all these Snac-associated fighters tested positive. You let Victor Conte explain it. This is a disaster. Pitiful. All you did was just make a mess here. You have failed miserably. You got no credibility. None. I don't want to hear nothing else about PEDs from Devin Haney, Bill Haney, Victor Conte, or their fans. And since y'all like to share lists so much, y'all go ahead and share that list. I want to see you share it. Since this is a disaster. And the worst part is y'all been doing this type of stuff for years. So now you can see my point. My point is this. There's so much going on in the sport of boxing that you have to take everything on a case-by-case basis. Just so you can understand where I'm coming from, is it reasonable to be a little suspicious of Reynoso? Absolutely. But not if you support a clan that is as questionable as the Haney clan along with Victor Conte. You may as well not say nothing. You may as well keep your mouth closed. See, we were trying to not get into this, but y'all talk so much. You do dumb things. So everything about Reynoso, I understand the suspicion, but you can't just go around piling fighters onto the man's list with situations that had nothing to do with him. You are doubling, or maybe more, the amount of fighters that should be considered as evidence tied to him or his gym. Really more than doubling, because we don't know what's going to happen with the last fighter. None of you will want that done to you, and none of you will want that done to your favorite fighters. If Devin Haney tested positive, the Haney people will want the grace of God. They will want all types of understanding and wait until it plays out. And all of this, I want to hear this shit. You all are hypocrites. And see, the Haney people, I know them. They going to try to turn it into a race thing. Oh, he's taking up for the Mexican fighters, and I'm not even Mexican. I'm the same color as the ones that's going to make it about race. Imagine that. I don't even view life in this foolish way. I view every race the same. Every person gets a clean slate with me. I judge every person by their own slate. I've met great people from all races and walks. Great Hispanic people, great white people, great Jewish people, great black people, great Filipino people, great Italians, all types of great people from different races and walks of the world, but I support boxing. There are Mexican fighters I support, black fighters I support, white fighters I support. I respect the real fighters of all races if they real. Everybody gets a clean slate with me. I don't view everything through a racial lens, because you end up coming to the wrong damn conclusions when you think like that. This ain't a race thing, and we haven't even really gotten into it.
Yeah, y'all. So what y'all think, man, about that video that I just shared? Shout out to Justin James, JBT. I see, man. I see you was up in the building, Justin James, man. Let's give Justin James, man, a round of applause, man. Yeah, y'all. So that's a pretty deep video, man. That was episode 2 of that video. It was an episode 1 before. That video that I just showed, man, it came out about like 4 days ago. I wasn't sure if anybody had seen it, so I decided to share it with y'all. But yeah, man, I know it's 4th of July, man. Happy 4th of July to everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all trying to celebrate or whatever, you know. Let's give everybody a round of applause. Yeah, so I ain't gonna hold y'all up long, you know. Just wanted to share that video. And you know, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what y'all think about that video that I just shared.
You will lose.
Not to be a disaster.
If he dies, he dies.
And I'm up out of here, y'all. Peace. It's the Boxing Menu Podcast. And you know what I'm saying? Y'all have a nice holiday, man. Be safe out there. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy yourself. And I'm up out of here. Peace.
This is for my grandfathers, my grandmothers, my father, my mother, Curly, my 3 brothers, last but not least, Snubby.
Mr. McNeely, what was it that you told your son?
And last but not least, Medfield.
What is it that you've...
That nonsense, because they were starting to butt heads. Oh.
Tyson with a left hook, a right uppercut, down goes McNeely.
Record me. I'm the best I'm the best in the building. Y'all talking about that intensity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what we doing. No, you don't record nobody but me, because I'm the best in the building.
Hold on. You the best in the building?
You Philippines, motherfucker, looking motherfucker.
What's going on? Oh, we just chilling, man. We just...
Yeah,
I get some stuff. Motherfucker, you was in the middle of saying something.
Say good night to the bad guy.
That's what it's in the middle of saying. Y'all see what I did on Showtime? Fuck you. Yeah. There he is right Fuck there. Y'all talking about. What he do, Adrian? What's good with you, fam?
Hold up. His black ass ain't saying fuck you. He just saying fuck the haters. So that's what he was saying.
So say good night to the bad guy.